there and welcome back to my new channel. My name is Bailey. I am the owner of the Etsy digital product shop, Bailey Designed Co., the Etsy shop that sells all of the tumbler wraps that everybody has been talking about lately on their YouTube channels. I wanted to hop on here and shed a little bit more light and information on some of these claims that are going around about digital product shops selling these tumbler wraps, them being the easiest AI side hustle and the best digital product business that you can start on Etsy in 2023, and give some perspective from the other side. So someone who has done this for the past year and a half, solely as a digital product shop. Before that, I did print on demand for about 2 years, as well as I've also made these tumblers handmade myself and did all the shipping, fulfillment as well. So I have had experience with POD and making the product myself and shipping, as well as now running a full digital shop. So that being said, a few things and misconceptions that I think are going around with this business idea, and I am 100% here not trying to say do not start a tumbler wrap digital product business. It is extremely lucrative, and I have made a lot of money in the past year and a half selling these digital downloads. However, I will say that these are not anything new. These tumbler wraps have been around for well over 3, probably 4 years now. So it is not a new digital product. It is now just getting the attention, I think, as being a easy side hustle with the emergence of AI, and I 100% do utilize it, but there's a little bit of a different perspective that I have on it, and information that actually is being shared out there. They are mentioning that these tumbler wrap stores, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull up, because I didn't even know that this site existed, but it's called Marketplace Pulse Top 100 Etsy Sellers. So I saw this on and I was sent all of these videos from people within my Facebook group, mostly of individuals saying, hey, they're showing your store on YouTube, or hey, did you know that you're being shown? And I didn't know, because I don't normally hang out on YouTube, and hopefully that will change if I decide to continue on with more tip type videos of digital product information. But yes, this list here does indeed show my store as having the most sales on Etsy within the past 30 days, as well as several other stores that do the same similar type products. So I'm not here to say that there isn't room for others to join. There definitely is, but there's a little bit more that goes into it than just creating a bunch of digital products with Midjourney and putting them on mock-ups and thinking you're going to sell 25,000 in the last 30 days. It's just not realistic, and unfortunately, with all of the increased competition of people using AI and starting digital shops, it's a little bit of a different story than it was for me last year when I started mine. So a little bit of a backstory. I switched my shop to be solely digital in January of 2022. So last year, and by March of last year, so within 3 months, I was hitting $500 a day, selling hundreds and hundreds of these digital downloads. However, the difference is I did not have AI. I did not use AI. I created them the old-fashioned way, which was using software like Kittl and Canva and Creative Fabrica, where you can purchase write designs and modify and change them, and fonts and graphics and so on. So the first time that I started using AI wasn't until January of this year. So a little bit less than 6 months. And that is also the clarification that I wanted to say, that these Tumbler wrap stores, mine specifically, there are several that are 100% AI. I agree with her saying that these Tumbler wrap stores they're only creating designs using AI, but mine, I will probably estimate that 1/3 of them are created with AI. The rest are created the old-fashioned way. I am not a designer. I do not have any digital design background. I am 100% self-taught using software like Kittl and Canva and Creative Fabrica, because I do not have a Photoshop design background. And I do teach those who purchase my course the way that I used to do it, primarily with creating designs when you don't have a digital design background. So that is not to scare anyone off. 100% you can do it with or without AI. It's just kind of a matter of preference. So moving on to the next claim is that there are specific designs that will make you go viral, or crazy trends that are happening that will make you hit these $500 a day marks. And that being said, I'm going to go ahead and type in a specific Tumbler wrap right now that there are videos being made about. And this is the 3D Tumbler wrap. And they kind of look like the image is popping out of the design. So that's where it kind of gets its name. It can have quilling features, embroidery features, puffy features. The image just looks alive, so to speak. But what they're saying is that by creating these 3D Tumbler wraps, that this is the key to having a store that sells thousands or hundreds of these a day. And while that might be the case right now, because these are hugely popular due to the new style, or relatively new style that these are, it is just a trend. So when these die out, which they will in a few months, it'll be tapped out, because there won't honestly be anything left to make a 3D version of. We'll move on to the next trend, and that is the nature of the game with Tumbler wraps. So that kind of ties into another claim that they're saying, that this is a passive income stream. And I will be the first to let anyone know that while creating digital products on Etsy does have a passive side, maintaining that and growing that business to the level that I have is not passive at all. Because if you were to throw up 1,000 of these 3D Tumbler designs and then left your store and never came back again, it will eventually die off. I create every single day, well, Tuesday through Friday. I upload a certain amount every day. I have an ongoing list of types of designs and styles that I get uploaded on a very, very regular basis. So it's not something that you can just think you're going to throw up a new trend like these 3D designs and have immediate success for years to come, just because that's, especially with Tumbler wraps and the customer that uses these types of designs, it will not sustain over a long period of time. You have to continue to evolve with the changing trends and seasonality of this type of product. So the other thing that they fail to mention is the level of, or the amount of ads that the type of seller that I am and that many others are that we run. So I'm on my marketing Etsy ads dashboard here, and as you can see, I run over $150 a day, advertising over 1,400 listings. So over a little less than half of my listings are being advertised, and you can see that it was about $4,500 spent and a little over $10,000, and this is just ad revenue. So to maintain those type of levels of sales or that volume, ads definitely play a huge part with most of the sellers that do the type of volume that we do. And so without running ads in this competitive of a marketplace, when you are going up against sellers such as myself and similar ones where we have tens and hundreds of thousands of sales and tens of thousands of reviews, if you're not running ads, it will be harder to break into this type of marketplace. The next thing that they fail to mention is our audiences. So I have spent the last year and a half growing this Etsy business to what it is with my own outside marketing efforts. So that is email marketing and Facebook marketing and even a very tiny bit amount of TikTok marketing. My email list is down to over 16,000 people. I have over 7,000 people in a Facebook group. So when the trends do die down, or when there is increased competition on Etsy with all of these new sellers selling these Tumbler wraps, I have a backup plan where I don't have to solely rely on the Etsy search algorithm. And even now, a huge percentage of my visits do not come from the Etsy search algorithm. They come from my own efforts with email marketing and my Facebook group. Not really my TikTok, but because I just don't have time to get on that as much, even though I'd like to because I like making the actual cups. But it's easy that every time that I have a new product or several new products, I can go ahead and email that list of 16,000 people, and I'm going to immediately get sales without having to worry about ranking or the hundreds of new competitors who have hopped on Etsy that week deciding to sell Tumbler wraps for 50 cents because they're trying to price cut and turn it into a bidding war, which is kind of what it's turning into now with the different pricing points and bundles that everyone is selling at, which will only lead to everybody having to sell at a much lower cost. I kind of just wanted to go over those few things that are kind of being spread around, that it's not as easy as it is made out to be, though I have never once taught any of my members that any Etsy digital product business is easy. It does get easier once you have an established market and you have an established customer base and you know what you're doing as far as creation of products. But as far as saying that it is the most easiest and passive side hustle of this year, I would say is kind of not stretching the truth, but just exaggerating a little bit, because it takes a lot more work and effort to get to the levels that we are at. I will also say that had I not had such a huge customer base before, when all of these new sellers hopped on, starting their similar Etsy stores with Tumbler wraps, it would have been, with AI, it would have been a different story, because I was a little late to the game hopping on the AI train. And you can say what you want, yes or no, you agree with it, but if I decided not to do it, my business would have tanked. It would have went completely under, just because of the amount of volume these new sellers are able to put out and the types of software that they do utilize to put out hundreds of designs a day, which I'm not that type of seller. I don't do that. The max I will ever put out in a day is 20, and I keep it at that just because I do have a life and I do run other businesses. So this has hopefully just been a little bit more insight into the typical YouTube channel ideas and thoughts on setting up digital product businesses on Etsy. And let me know in the comments if you guys would like me to release more videos about selling digital products on Etsy. Thank you.